This is a complete plot summary of Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. We'll go through every major event in the story, from beginning to end. Let's jump straight into it. The story begins with a man waking up alone in a strange, sterile room. He doesn't know his name or where he is. Two corpses lie in beds next to him. As he explores the ship, fragments of memory begin to return. He learns he's in a spaceship, far from Earth on a critical mission. Eventually, he remembers his name, Ryland Grace, a former molecular biologist and middle school science teacher. Through a series of flashbacks, the truth comes into focus. A new type of microscopic life form called astrophage was discovered harvesting energy from the sun. These particles were traveling in huge numbers between the sun and Venus, causing the sun to dim. If unchecked, Earth would enter an ice age in a few decades, and humanity could face extinction. Ryland had written a controversial paper about life that could survive without water. This made him a candidate to work on Earth's emergency response team, the Hail Mary Project. A global coalition is formed to save Earth. Eva Strat, a powerful official with worldwide authority, leads the project. They determine that astrophage is a spacefaring microbe that reproduces rapidly and consumes energy, both light and heat. They trace the path of the astrophage to a distant star called Tau Ceti, which is not dimmed like the others. This implies there might be a natural solution to the astrophage problem there. Earth's only hope? Send a ship to Tau Ceti to learn how that star has remained unaffected. The mission is named Project Hail Mary, a last-ditch attempt to save humanity. The spacecraft is built quickly using a small black hole-based drive fueled by astrophage. Because the journey will take 13 years each way, the crew must be put into a coma-like sleep. This ship includes a black hole-based drive fueled by astrophage. Because the journey will take 13 years each way, the crew must be put into a coma-like sleep. The ship includes an automated medical unit to keep them alive. 3 astronauts are chosen, including Ryland. However, he originally declined to volunteer. But when others died during training and humanity needed someone with his knowledge, Strat forced him into the mission, even against his will. He was sedated and placed in cryosleep without his final consent. Ryland slowly recovers his memories while exploring the ship. He runs scientific experiments, repairs systems, and finally confirms he has arrived in the Tau Ceti system. While studying the local stars, he discovers a nearby planet in the system with a strange Petrova line, the name for the trails that astrophage create between stars and planets. That planet, later named Adrian, seems to be the source of a predator or natural enemy that keeps astrophage in check. Then, Ryland spots another spaceship in the system. It's shaped differently, almost like a spider web, and is clearly of alien origin. The alien ship docks with the Hail Mary. Ryland makes contact with the alien being he later names Rocky, from a planet called Arid in another star system. Rocky species, the Aridians, are intelligent spider-like creatures that evolved in a high-pressure, ammonia-based environment. They too were threatened by astrophage and independently built their own starship to come to Tau Ceti. Rocky communicates using chords and tones. Ryland and Rocky slowly build a language together using math, science, and sound. They eventually become close friends. Rocky's ship is advanced, but has mechanical failures. Ryland helps him with human technology, while Rocky provides new tools and knowledge. Together, they investigate Adrian, the planet emitting the astrophage. On the planet, they discover a new life form, a predator of astrophage they name Talmoeba. These microbes consume astrophage, which could potentially be used to wipe out the global threat on Earth and Arid. Ryland and Rocky collect Taumoeba samples and run tests. These microbes are effective. They can consume astrophage and stop its reproduction. However, there's a problem. Taumoeba die in different environments. Ryland's strain dies in Earth conditions. Rocky's dies in arid conditions. They need to engineer a version of Taumoeba that can survive in the specific conditions of each home planet. Ryland begins conducting genetic experiments using astrophage-powered labs in the Hail Mary. He creates hundreds of generations of Taumoeba, selecting for survivability in Earth conditions. After multiple failures and near disasters, including one where the Taumoeba eat all of the ship's astrophage fuel and nearly doom the mission, Ryland finally succeeds in breeding a stable strain that works. Rocky does the same for arid conditions. They each now hold the cure for their planets. Ryland prepares to return to Earth. He has just enough fuel for the 13-year return trip. The ship is automated, and he places himself back into hibernation. But right before launching, he discovers that Rocky's ship has suffered a catastrophic failure. Rocky is trapped and will die unless someone helps him. Ryland faces a choice: return home and save Earth, or sacrifice the trip and help his friend. If he helps Rocky, he won't have enough fuel to return to Earth. In the end, Ryland chooses friendship. He sacrifices his journey home, rescues Rocky, and travels back with him to Arid, hoping the Aridians can help keep him alive in their environment. Years pass. Ryland survives on Arid, living in a specially constructed habitat. The Aridians treat him as a hero and friend. He's still alone, far from Earth, but has purpose and connection. Using Iridian technology, he builds experiments and continues research. He even imagines ways Earth might one day find him, but he's accepted his fate. The book ends with Ryland floating in his lap, watching a new Taumoeba colony under the microscope, content that he saved 2 worlds and found meaning in the stars. And that's the full, detailed plot summary of Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. If you enjoyed the story, consider checking out more of our full-length plot recaps here on the channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments below, do you think he should have saved Rocky? Thanks for watching. See you next time.